Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here. Now that my two obligatory informative videos are done for the day, some of which discussing injury prevention, it's time to talk about current events in the online fitness community. So let me put on my +5 hat of weaponsmithing, work on skilling up my crafting, and let's talk about one of the biggest pieces of fitness news we've had in a week or two. And I'm just going to state up front, I'm going to go in hard on this. I'm not going to apologize in any way for my opinion. I don't care if I offend you. I don't care if I offend Dana Linn Bailey fanboys and fangirls. I don't care if I offend anyone who's drinking the IPF Kool-Aid, because I'm just going to give the brutal, honest truth. And I'm also going to be honest here. If you're a Dana Linn Bailey fan, and I don't even really dislike DLB, but if you're one of her fans and you really and truly think there's even a remote possibility that she might actually be Natty, you are too stupid to be entitled to an opinion. Like, I really don't care what you think because you're too stupid to be trusted to have an opinion on your own. In fact, you probably can't remember to tie your own shoes, and you're lucky if you can remember to breathe, because that's how damn stupid you would have to be to hold that opinion. It's not even remotely imaginable. You have to be borderline mentally retarded to have that opinion. All right, you have to be. You can't be a reasonable person who's been lifting weights and been around weights for a few years and still believe that. You just can't, unless you're literally on the edge of being mentally retarded. So now that that's out of the way, those people, I don't care if I offend them. And here's the problem we're going to get into. I mean, when we think of Dana Linn Bailey, what do we think of? Capped primo delts from all the gear. We think of, can I speak to the manager? And then that snooze she does that looks like Predator. That thing she does. That's what we think of. And of course her clothing line. Her clothing line is actually pretty cool. I'm not going to knock that. But she's now competing in the IPF. She's competing in the IPF. She just won first place in the USAPL meet, which is the American IPF affiliate. This big organization that has actually caused me problems in the past for social reasons and other stuff, because their lifters and their gyms aren't allowed to associate with people who compete in untested federations. Like, I've actually run into problems due to this federation because they claim to be so strict that their lifters are not, in many of the countries, many of them have charters that say that their lifters can't fraternize or associate with people who use gear or people who compete untested, even if they are themselves clean and claim to not use. They can't even work out with them. All right, if you go to a gym where it's run by IPF people, those people can actually lose their affiliates and get in trouble with the federation for allowing people on steroids to train at their gyms. Put that in perspective. They're claiming they do all of this so that they can get into the Olympics. That's their whole thing, is that we have to ban down on all steroid use and make it evil and demonize every person who touches the stuff so that we can get into the Olympics. And they actually are dicks to everybody who competes untested. Like, a lot of them and their leadership and everything else are dicks to these people. Yet, they allow Dana Linn Bailey to come in and compete. And now she's going to go to nationals. But here's the thing. Most of the IPF affiliates and IPF rules don't allow people who compete untested to compete in their federations, meaning you're blackballed. So if a person goes to an untested powerlifting meet, they can't even qualify to go to the IPF's meets. It disqualifies them for like X number of years. Back when I was going through all this, it was 2 years. 2 years. So even going and competing in an untested sporting event disqualifies you in the IPF. It makes you tainted. That you have someone famous with influence like DLB who holds a pro card in the IFBB, the biggest untested bodybuilding federation in the world, that requires not just use but abuse to even be successful in it. They do not test. They do not score down at all for gross abuse of drugs. In fact, they encourage it in their judging criteria. She holds a pro card and is a professional in the IFBB and has been for many years, and yet is allowed to compete in their federation. While they put on this dog and pony show about how they're natural, And you know what, a lot of people I've known, I have personal friends, I have people I've trained with, other people who have been IPF members. I know people who are officials in the IPF. I'm not going to get into names. You know what? The drug testing is very, very political. Meaning I have a real life friend who has been tested like 7 times in the IPF. 7 times. He's legitimately clean, and he's not even like a world champion. All right, he's pretty good. He's pretty good. But he's not really in the top 1%. Guy's been drug tested 7 times. Yet a guy who beat him and has a lot of political sway doesn't seem to get tested. So here's the question. You know, she's qualified for nationals. Did she get drug tested? I mean, let's keep in mind, this is someone who technically, if they want to follow all their bylaws, if the USAPL wants to really follow all the IPF's rules and ideologies and ideas, she shouldn't have been allowed to compete at all, because she's in the IFBB. Because they make a big deal. I mean, friends of mine weren't allowed to work out with me while they were in the IPF because I was in the WPC. They weren't allowed to work out with me. You understand that? They could be blackballed by the IPF for their association with me. Back in years ago, back when I was in the UK, yet in the IFBB she can walk in and compete, and then she's going to go to nationals. Let's see the drug testing. How'd they test her? What did they test her with? Are they enrolling her into the Olympic random testing now? Is she going to be enrolled in the random testing by the Olympic Committee? Because I believe that's what they're supposed to be doing, isn't it? Isn't that the direction the IPF has gone? Is she enrolled? Is she going to be drug tested randomly in the off season by people showing up at her door at 3 in the morning before she goes and competes at nationals? Of course not, because the IPF's not clean. And the fact that they're allowing Dana Lynn Bailey to compete and not even stepping up and saying, "Hey, you can't do this. You're in the IFBB. You know, you can't come compete in our federation." No, they're going to let her go to nationals. You know why? Because it's a dog and pony show. The IPF realizes they're dying. They realize no one cares about what they're doing anymore. They realize no one cares about what they're doing anymore, and since she's got a massive following, they're going to let her come in just to get her fan base to start watching IPF events and attending. They're going to allow it because of politics and money. And they're going to keep talking all this mess about how they're so strict with who they let in and so strict with who their people can fraternize with. And she's going to come in there as an IFBB pro. And her boyfriend and everything else who are all juiced up, they're all going to be hanging out. They're going to be there with her, probably spotting her, cheering her on right there. All these people on gear. Her whole crew is going to show up. They're all on gear. They're going to hang out at the IPF events. While the IPF is just going to turn and look away. They're going to look away because they really aren't about it. And that's the thing. You know, they make such a big deal about demonizing steroids. Yet a lot of guys in the top ranks are on them in their federation. I've known guys who are IPF who cheat and have told me how they cheat. I've known guys personally, people I know personally in real life. It's not even that hard. Not as hard as people think it is. But they act like it's such a big deal, like they really and truly care, to the point to where they will discourage their members from fraternizing with known users. Unless they have a really, really, really big following and a big clothing company. And maybe could donate a little bit to the IPF. Then they'll look the other way. They'll let her compete. What happens when she goes to nationals? What happens when she goes to nationals and wins? What happens when she goes to nationals and wins? Are they going to test her? Is she going to have to do any off-season random testing? I bet you not. I bet you she's not even going to be enrolled in the same drug testing that everyone else is. Because the IPF is dying. It's, no one cares about it. A lot of people have just left because they get sick of the nonsense. They get sick of the pompous, elitist attitude and the hypocrisy. And she's got a little bit of money, and she's got influence. She's probably more famous with a bigger following than anyone in the entire IPF. So, you know, maybe she uses a little Primo, maybe a little VAR, maybe a little growth hormone. What's it really matter, right? Think of the fresh blood she'll bring in. And that's the other thing, too. Then they're going to run around. She's going to be like, "Oh, I'm in the IPF. I'm Natty. I'm Natty." And you're going to deter women away from heavy lifting again, because that's part of the problem. I have no problem with people juicing at all. I have no problem with people doing to their own bodies as they please. But when you have, like she does, a manly physique from using male hormones, and you have that look, and other women see that and are scared to lift heavy because they don't want to look like that, because she tells everyone she's natural, and now going to be in the IPF and can claim she's a drug-free power lifter, it's going to discourage women from lifting weights. It's going to discourage more women from lifting heavy. It's going to cause higher cancer rates. It's going to cause more osteoporosis, all these other problems that we know weightlifting helps women with. She's going to deter that. It's harmful to women for people like DLB to run around screaming they're natty. And now her fangirls go, well, I want to look like her, so it's good with me. Yeah, but for every woman who sees her and wants to be like her, 50 other women see that and go, I don't want to touch a heavy weight. I don't want to look like that. It's killing women. And there's the IPF. They're going to encourage the same nonsense. They need to just call themselves the fake Natty Powerlifting Federation. How about that? Instead of the International Powerlifting Federation, the fake Natty Powerlifting Federation. DLB can go hang out with Lane Norton. Maybe he can give her some tips on passing those drug tests for a fee. He didn't give that out for free, by the way. That's going to cost her a little bit, but Lane will help her out. She can be one of his clients. So, well done, IPF. Once again, displaying your hypocrisy. Displaying your hypocrisy for the whole world to see. You're going to let her run up there and claim to be a drug-free powerlifter now, even though she's in the IFBB. Hey, you going to let any of us WPC guys go compete in your federation now? Oh, you don't allow people to compete who compete in untested powerlifting. They can't come to your events. That's right. But they can be pro untested bodybuilders and still come and compete. Got it. Alright guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.